Thank you, Charlie, for your time, and thank you for coming on to my show. I'm really excited and humbled that I'm talking to you right now.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Charlie. Charlie, we'll begin with you telling us a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, what city, what, I mean, I know already quite a bit about you, but you can tell our viewers once more.
Yes, so my name is Charlie, and I'm a YouTuber right now. I share my stories. Basically, I grew up in India. So when I was 1 year old, my dad actually went to India for PhD, doing PhD in public administrations.
Mm,
And since then, I've lived in India, Patna, actually,
mm,
Patna for 20 years. So I finished all my early education up until high school, class 12, we call it in India, class 12. And then I went to study in the US, Iowa, University of Iowa. I did my studies there.
mm.
And so all my life, all my childhood has been in India, Patna.
So, do you
That's my
mind if I
background.
ask you how old are you now?
I am 28 years right now.
So, you've spent like 28 out of 28 years, 20 years just in India, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
more than half of my life in India.
Wow. So this is that because those are your formative years, and that the early years make you who you are, right?
Yes, exactly, exactly. You
Very.
can tell by my accent. I mean, I have two accents. I mean, I can speak an American accent as well, but I feel more comfortable when I'm speaking like more towards the Indian side, Indian accent.
No, I've actually heard your American accent talking to Drew.
Yes, yes,
Yeah. So I mean, that's why I'm interested because you have multiple, personalities, multiple
yes,
facets to your
yes,
personality,
yes.
which is very interesting because you're a man of, a global citizen, you can say.
Of course, yes,
Yeah.
yes. I completely agree with that.
Right. So, I mean, I feel the same way, although I have not lived, you've lived in more countries than I have, but, I can understand where you come from.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for your background. So growing up in India, wow, in Patna especially, right?
Yes.
Wow. So that is the only city in India you've lived?
Yes, so I spent most of my time in Patna only.
Hmm.
From time to time, I had a friend in Kolkata, so I visited Kolkata once. New Delhi, of course, because back and forth Korea to India for short trips or visits to
Hmm.
Korea. I'd go to New Delhi. So Delhi, Patna, Kolkata, those were three most traveled in India.
And those are quite
So
like, quite important hubs for you, right?
yes,
Right.
yes.
Okay, nice, very interesting. I've grown up in Lucknow and born and raised in Lucknow, and I have not lived in any other city after Lucknow. I came straight to America, so you are more
Oh.
diverse than me, and considering what you know about India.
Yes, yes.
Gee, so after 20 years in India, you went straight to America, right, to study?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Did you, when you went to Iowa? Iowa, University of Iowa. Iowa is also in the middle of America, which is kind of a Midwest, right?
Midwest,
It
yeah.
can be quite
Cornfields.
cornfields, right? Yeah. So, did you? How did you fit in Iowa? Because I'm sure you were living on college campus, so there were lots of
Mm.
students. Where did you gravitate towards Indian students or Korean students or American? What? How did you find your people?
Very interesting question because when I moved to America, my first instinct was that I'd feel closer to people from India, like Indians. So I actually went to like Indian, student organizations, or
Mhm.
when we had the first orientation, I tried to look for Indian people.
Wow.
And I actually interacted with them, and I said I grew up in India, and I started talking in Hindi with them, and they were amazed, they were shocked.
Mm.
But the first thing that I realized when I went to America was that I am a foreigner to them.
Right.
Even though I speak Hindi, uh, they understand me as a Korean person who is very good at speaking Hindi. So I'm not
Mm.
Indian, I'm Korean to them. So that's where I kind of felt the wall a little bit.
So,
And
so
then I
even though you're sorry to interrupt, but
go ahead.
very this is very interesting. So even though you spoke beautiful Hindi, perfect Hindi,
Yes,
they still
yes,
thought they were impressed by your Hindi, but they were not ready to believe that you are actually Indian.
yes, yes, just because of the
The way you
looks,
live,
right?
right? So did you what I mean, how did it take a long time for them to understand that actually you are one of them, and they would like took you in?
That's I don't know. Like, I don't know if I want them to think that I'm one of them. It's
Mm,
just something that I felt from them, that, oh yes, I'm not Indian, right?
mm,
Because all my life I grew up in India, and I thought, we're all the same, because all my friends who knew that I lived there, they're very comfortable with me and
mm,
interacting with me almost like a, family. But going abroad was different. So when I met Korean community, I went to a Korean church.
mm,
So there, very interestingly, even though my Korean was a little laggy, like little less comfortable in Korean than Hindi at that time,
mm,
I actually felt more comfortable hanging around with them. I think because of skin culture, color, and maybe some cultural aspects, because my parents are Korean.
mm,
So I felt more comfortable with Koreans when I went to America. So I found Korean family in
mm.
America, which is very
Wow.
interesting.
Very interesting. It's very interesting because like in India, I mean, sorry, no, I
Mm.
mean, I'm very comfortable. Actually, I'm only comfortable with people from Lucknow who speak like Lucknowites. Who eat tunde
Oh, yes.
kebabs and biryani and
Mm,
tehzeeb
mm,
and all that. But I had no idea that when I would move to America and I would be really
mm,
close to a guy from Vijayawada who only speaks Telugu and English, and I thought I
mm,
didn't know I would like form any kind of bonding with. But when you move out of your comfort zone, when you're in a
mm,
different land, you
mm.
gravitate to people you didn't believe that you would, right?
No, no,
Yeah.
yes.
So that's very interesting. So you found Korean people in America more comforting than Indians in America, right?
Yes,
Right.
yes,
Very
yes.
nice. Very nice. So you studied there for 4 years. Is that right? Undergrad, right?
Yes, undergrad 4 years, Bachelor of Arts in International Studies, and
Mhm.
minored in Communications.
Communications, very nice. So you didn't want to pursue a master's, and you went back to Korea, right? You when did you leave for Korea?
So I came to Korea actually last year. Last year, on August. August, I came to Korea. Actually, July. So after graduating, so actually I went to college in 2015,
Hmm.
but I had to serve in the military in Korea
Oh, okay.
for 2 years in 2000, from 2018. So I
Hmm.
had a gap in between. So I finished 3 years of college, went to Korea, finished my military service for 2 years, and then came back on 2021 in 2021, and finished my studies 2021 December. And then I stayed 1.5 years more working in Target. You know Target,
Hmm.
right?
I'm not exactly. I just shopped there yesterday.
Yes, yes, yes. Retail store. So I
Right. Right.
worked there part time, and then for 1.5 years, and then I came to Korea just last year in July.
Very nice. So are you? You must have chosen Korea out of the three countries that you find
Hmm.
comforting: India, America, and Korea, because Korea is like probably your Korean is better now. Your language skills.
Yes, yes, much better after I did my military service.
All right, right. So you
Yes,
is it? Would you say your Korean is almost as good as your Hindi?
yes. Now it is.
Wow, that's amazing. You've got three languages, right?
Yes, English least confident, but yeah, I can
No,
communicate.
you're communicating just fine. So Korea now, your plan is to just live there for an foreseeable future.
Yeah, I mean, I think I want to live in Korea right now,
Mhm.
just because of the content, the work I'm doing right now.
Mm,
Um, but apart from that, when people ask which country you feel, you want to live,
mhm.
uh, that's a very hard question,
Right.
because that's a very tricky question, because I feel different emotions in different countries, I feel
Wow,
like.
this is beautiful. This is deep.
Yes, yes. So in Korea, it's very funny, because I just told you that in America I found Koreans to be like very like family, right?
Mhm.
But when I come to Korea,
Mm.
Koreans in Korea feels a little different. Like, Koreans in America, maybe because they've experienced another culture. They're in a foreign land. That's
Right.
why we feel more connected. But in Korea, it's a little different.
Right. Right.
So yeah,
I'll
so
give an analogy. Maybe it's wrong, but when I grew up like you, I grew up in India eating Chinese food, like Indian
okay.
Chinese, and I love Chinese food, the Indian Chinese.
Mm,
And I came to
mm.
America, and there was a Chinese, like Panda Garden or Panda Express and all those places. I went with my wife, like I want to have chow mein. And when I
Yes.
walked in, no, they didn't have chow mein. They had like, this is something we don't have. This doesn't exist. We have the
Mhm.
closest version of chow mein, which is lo mein,
Lo mein,
lo
yes,
mein,
yes.
and that didn't taste anything like the Chinese food I was used to. So the
Me too.
Chinese food in India is different than Chinese food in America, and I'm sure Chinese food is also very different in China.
Yes, yes, yes. Wow, very, very good analogy.
So you
Yeah.
are feeling different emotions, like finding Korean people in Korea different, Korean people in
Mm,
America different, and of
yes,
course there's no Korean people in except you in India. So uh, I
yes.
mean there must be some, but not
In
easily
in
available.
Patna, in Patna especially.
Okay, right.
In India, there are many Koreans, but in Patna especially, I was
Not many, huh?
probably the only one.
Okay, right. So, different emotions. You find different emotions. Can you talk a little bit more about what kind of emotions do you feel in comparison to Korea versus India? Like, do you? What, yeah, please elaborate on that.
So India, even though I look different, when I every time I visit India, every time I go to Patna,
Hmm.
there's a weird feeling of comfort. I feel like I'm home, like very safe, feeling very safe. And I feel very safe to talk to anyone in Patna. I feel like I can do anything in Patna, right? And
Wow.
people will understand and I will understand them. In Korea, it's not like that. In Korea, I'm very careful with how I treat others, how I react to other people, and I'm very careful about my actions. I look around, maybe because I've never lived here. It's my first time actually. It's been about I don't know, more than 6 months
Mm-hmm.
now. But maybe that's why, because I don't know the norms and like basic things like traffic and how to ride the subway. I'm getting a lot used to it now, but maybe that's why. But India, I feel very safe. So yeah.
I watched your recent video with or Instagram reel something. You were going up to strangers and saying, "Sir, आप मेरे साथ chill करेंगे क्या?" So,
Oh, you
so
watched it? Okay.
yeah, I watched it. So I mean, I could
Yeah.
tell by your face and your expressions and how
Yeah.
comfortable you were going up to a stranger saying this. I don't think you can do this in Korea, right? To anybody.
No, no, I cannot do that in Korea. No. Also because I was with my friends in India, but even though even without them, I feel like I'd feel comfortable talking to strangers like that in India.
Right, right. Because I've seen even when you not just that video, but many videos, the way you interact with your Bihari folks, just the way when they say something and you smile, the way you smile, it tells that you're
Yes.
communicating just with your smile, and they know what you
Yes.
mean. So that
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
there's a whole like uh, India like looks like you breathe India. You breathe Patna especially, and
No, exactly,
yeah,
exactly. I
yeah.
agree 100%. In Korea, I don't know why. Maybe like I'm trying to understand, learn the culture more, like learn how people interact with each other. Especially in Seoul, I feel like people are a little cold. I don't want to generalize, but like it feels a little more colder. Like people are not very friendly.
Hmm.
Like in India, you can talk to anyone and they'd probably respond.
Hmm.
Here, I feel like if I talk to anyone, people might judge me as, like a strange person, unusual person. I feel like maybe it's just my feeling.
Hmm.
I should try more. Like I should
Right, right.
try speaking to more people, but that's a general feeling that I have.
Maybe you're also a little bit inhibited, right? You're not 100% sure what's going to be the response, right?
I'm naturally introvert as well. Like I'm naturally
Okay.
a little more introverted. That's
Mm.
why I feel a little more afraid to talking to new culture, new people. But
Hmm.
still, like
You're making inroads. I mean, you're living there now, so maybe in a
sorry.
few years, you're making inroads into Korean culture. You're there, so
Yes,
it
yes,
will come to you.
yeah.
Yeah,
Hopefully, yes,
yeah. So your parents are also there with you in Korea.
yes. My dad's actually in Korea. My mom's teaching Korean language in Patna. Still, she's
Oh
still in
wow,
Patna.
So you have more reasons to go back to Patna, right?
Yes, yes.
So you haven't lost touch with Patna, even though you've left Patna 8 years
Mm.
ago, right?
No, 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 no. Of course, I travel to Patna time to time.
Mm.
Just recently, when I did my India vlog, when I visited India, I visited Patna as well.
Mm. Let's talk a little bit about your interest, your passion, like which is music. You like to
Mm.
sing, and you have to. I
Yes.
mean, I also am interested in music, but I'm
Mm,
nowhere as
okay.
good a singer as you are. So you, आपने लिखा अपने कहीं पर YouTube के उसमें जो कैप्शन है कि
Hmm.
कोई एक सिंगर है उसके साथ आपको गाने का मन है, सपना है कुछ, like you want to sing
Mm.
to that. Who's that guy?
So his name is Arman Malik.
Arman Malik, right? Right.
And there's no specific reason that I chose him. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, there is, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wo, so he sang with many different international artists.
Oh, okay.
I don't find many Indian musicians collaborating with international artists, and especially Arman Malik. He collaborated with a Korean singer,
Mm.
so that intrigued me, and I felt like, okay, this is someone that might be interested in me, and I
Mm-hmm.
might be interested in him to work together
Wow.
in the future, maybe. So that's a goal that I set to myself, that
Mm-hmm.
I want to start learning music, want to train my vocals a little bit more, and hopefully sing with him someday
Mm, beautiful.
to
So
just
you,
set a direction. Yeah.
yeah, very good. I hope he finds you.
Yes. Yes. Hopefully.
Right.
Hopefully.
So you in Korea you are doing your own thing, right? You're making YouTube videos. You are
Mm.
making music. Is that
Yes.
your full time occupation right now?
Right now. Yes. Yes.
Okay. And you want to keep doing this, right? You're like fully committed to it.
Yes, I like telling stories.
Mm-hmm.
I like sharing my life stories, and I like entertaining people. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know, but even though I'm an introvert, I found that I like entertaining people. I love when people enjoy what I say,
Mm-hmm.
make them laugh. So that's what I like. That's my passion.
Mm-hmm.
Music is another passion that I have, a little bit more specific.
Mm-hmm.
That's on its own, like it's working. Like, I'm not a professional singer. I don't feel like I'm a professional singer yet,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm working on it. So
Right. Right. So this is beautiful because you have from your other videos you've also talked how important it is to do what you really love, right? And
mm,
without being scared or worried about what might happen, just follow your
mm,
dreams, and that's what you're doing right now, right? And
yes,
yeah, and are you also trying to make any kind of connections or breakthrough into Korean music industry? Or do you sing Korean songs also?
I want
Okay.
to. I am open to Korean industry as well.
All right.
um I feel like, when someone asks me what my dream is, like
Mm-hmm.
people
Mm-hmm.
ask dream questions.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like I have a very specific, like, grandiose dream. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
need to do this, right?
Right.
I'm very open. Like, I
Mhm.
just enjoy living.
Wow,
I enjoy
beautiful.
life. Yes, I enjoy living the process. I enjoy the process, wherever it takes me, I'm good with it.
Mhm.
But I just tell people that I want to sing with Arman Malik because it just gives me a direction, like
Mhm.
something to work on.
Mhm.
So the life keeps going, right? But in between, if it happens to, pivot somewhere else, like I
Mhm.
have to do something else,
Mhm.
if it fits to my passion and direction, it's fine.
So you are you're a very young man, and but I feel there is some kind of a spiritual like feeling
Mm,
comes to you, through you when I
mm,
listen to your video because you have some kind of
really,
awakening or something.
really.
You have you're
Mm.
you're you're an old soul. It seems sometimes and you're
Wow.
taking
Okay.
life as it comes rather than you trying to grab things and go for it, right?
Yes.
You're going with the
Yes.
flow and
Mm.
not trying too hard, trying but not trying too
Yes.
hard.
Yes.
I want
Yes.
to show you somehow there's a book sitting here.
Mm.
um, I'll go back to Google look for a second. Look at this book. You can read this.
Zen in the art of archery. Okay.
Right, right.
Eugene Harris. Is it
G,
Harris?
yes.
Okay. Is he? No, Harry Gell. Okay. I don't.
So ये
Eugene.
किताब जो है, this book is about some. It was just lying there somehow. It just I mean I didn't plan for the book to be here, but it's here. what I'm trying to say, the book is about learning the art of archery, but finding
Mm,
zen in it. Zen,
mm,
which means that you, if you're trying to hit a target by an arrow, and you're
mm,
focusing too much on hitting it, it will not
mm.
go the right way. You just have to let the arrow drop from your fingers, and it only happens when you stop thinking about it. So it's
Wow.
like also very deep. It's like most people, like,
Yes.
try, you have to
Yes.
do it, but it just,
Yes.
when you stop thinking about it, it just happens. खैर कोई बात नहीं, ये
I
थोड़ा ऑफ टॉपिक है, सॉरी.
I like हमको भी ये सब चीज़ सोचने में काफ़ी अच्छा मतलब मज़ा आता है एंड आई
जी जी.
फील लाइक इट्स इम्पोर्टेंट टू
Right, right.
um, yes.
Anyway, thank you. Is there anything else you would like to tell us about your life? And I think we've covered most of the topics. You
Okay.
want to continue living in Korea for the like foreseeable future, and you keep going back to India, but you've no plans to come back to America, right? Unless you want to meet Drew, right?
I'm actually going to America end of this month, but
Oh,
visiting LA
okay.
just for 3 days. So like business purpose.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Some kind of
But
video making.
yes, actually for filming.
Oh, wow.
I don't want to spoil right now.
Sure,
So
sure, sure, sure.
when it comes out, it'll come out. You'll probably get to know. But yes, for filming, I'm visiting Los Angeles. So
Nice.
that be first. I guess first ever work business trip to America. I don't know
Mm.
if I'll, because it's very costly.
Of course, yeah.
Visiting America is very expensive, so it's hard for me to spend my own money to, visit
Yeah, yeah,
America.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So थोड़ा
But
मुश्किल
if you're welcome to come and stay with me in Florida if you want to.
ऑफ कोर्स इफ आई
Yeah.
है ना जाने का मौका मिले तो
हाँ,
ज़रूर।
बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल. लेकिन ड्रू साहब भी, I mean, पास में ही है शायद ना? He lives in Florida too,
नहीं,
right now.
Drew doesn't live in Florida anymore. He's
Oh,
in
okay.
Thailand.
Okay, right, okay.
Yeah,
But
he
he's
moved
like
to
shifted
Thailand.
base permanently, right?
I think so. Yeah,
Oh,
unless
okay.
his visa expires or like he gets kicked out of the country. I feel like he'll stay in Thailand
Oh,
for a
okay.
bit.
All right,
Yes.
okay.
Hmm.
Well, thank you so much, Charlie, for your time, and I will be in touch again. And
Of
is
course.
there anything else you want to say, or we can just finish it now?
Yeah, no, I mean, thank you so much for having me.
Right,
And I like open conversations. I
right,
like
right.
just talking about different things about life and just
Yeah,
um, if you want to spend more time talking about my life, I'm feeling
fine.
free, fine
Right,
with that as well. So
right.
no need for rush or anything. Like
Okay, okay, sure.
there's a lot of things that I can unfold, like childhood and things like that, because experiencing three different cultures, three different
Right.
countries, there's a lot to think about, and I realized that, I see things and understand things that not many people would, just because they have not experienced many different cultures. So, especially when I talk to Koreans,
Hmm.
sometimes it feels difficult for me to have conversations because they are unable to understand me completely. And
Correct.
sometimes I'm unable to understand why are they not able to understand what I'm saying, right?
Hmm.
So things like that. So I just understood, realized that okay, it's not that they're stupid or like
Hmm.
that. It's just that I look differently. I have a different perspective. So I
They
look
have a
at things
different.
differently.
They don't have the same frame of reference as you.
Yes,
They have no
yes.
idea what it's like to grow up in Bihar, eat rice, speak Bhojpuri, listen to Indian Bhojpuri songs, and hang out with Indian.
Yes.
There's a whole, culture, how you interact with Indians.
Mm,
They're very touchy. They can touch you a lot. They can, like, and which is in America is a big taboo. You cannot. I mean, I've scared people standing close to in line getting a Starbucks coffee.
mm,
People think I'm a creep, because I'm standing too close in line.
really.
So
Yes,
in
yes.
India, you can do that without bothering anyone. Body to body.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, yeah, yes, exactly. So, like before we end, actually,
Yes.
recently I've been seeing this uh, what do you call this topic of racism,
Hmm.
like especially Korea and India, between Korean and Indian
Mm.
cultures, like racism facing, like Indians facing racism in Korea, things like that. And it upsets me a little bit because, you know, I feel like there's one person who told me to to think this way. People, um, there are people with one eyes and people with two eyes. If you're talking to someone who just has one eye, you cannot communicate. Like there's no communication link there.
Right.
You have two eyes. You have seen two different cultures. You have different perspective. You have different understanding. So when someone with one eye talks to you in a certain way, might feel bad, but you need to understand that they don't see the things that you see. They just don't understand. They don't know it yet. So I feel like racism is kind of in the same line. People don't know about the different cultures that exist outside of their world.
Right.
So sometimes they're curious, but sometimes they're jealous, but sometimes they're, hatred, not because they want to hate, just because it's new and they don't understand, right? And I faced certain, criticism, not criticism, like um, curiosity. I want to say it more curiosity rather than racism. Like people used to call me Ching Chang, and Chinese, and like do eyes like this.
Right. Right.
But it's because people don't know, and they want to know, they want to understand, they're curious, and it's just the way of communication is different. They don't know the proper way to communicate, so the other people feel better about it, right?
Shari, this is very interesting because you said like somebody. Let's suppose if I was going to Korea, right, for 3 months, and I felt any kind of
Yes,
racism, I can
yes,
leave in 3 months and say, okay, they only have one eye, right? They don't
yes,
see
yes,
me with two eyes. But somebody like
yes,
you who grew up in India for 20
mm,
years, and
yes,
people constantly calling you ching chang, making
yeah,
faces, that
yeah,
you have to grow a very very thick skin or change yourself
yes,
or become very
mm,
something like of a saint to not
mm,
react, like as you said in your like earlier videos, like in the earlier
yeah,
times when you were a
mm,
kid, people would make fun and you would like get angry. Sometimes you would throw something and
of
first,
course,
and your mother would say, no, don't, calm down, you don't have to
yeah,
react like
yeah,
that,
yeah. Wow, you've watched a lot of my
yeah,
videos.
yeah.
Wow,
I
thank you.
mean, yeah,
Yeah.
I've done the whole like. I mean, I'm drawn to your life because
Hmm,
it's. I'm also. I don't want to like apologize, but I want to apologize for all the stuff that you've gone
hmm,
through
hmm.
in your
Yeah,
childhood, of course. But you've
yeah,
embraced that, and
yeah.
you've come out of that. You're like, okay, this is
Yes.
who I am, and
Hmm,
I am. I might look different, but I am a Bihari. I am Indian.
hmm, hmm.
So you moved on, but you're right. I mean, I think you should write a book about your life.
Yeah, I mean, I want to actually.
Yeah,
I want
I will.
to
I will.
like.
I will read it. I mean, read in terms of like give feedback to you, help you write it.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
That would be
yeah,
wonderful. Actually, that would be
yes,
wonderful. Yes.
and yeah. So you like there must be some moments of sadness too in your life, in your mind. Sometimes when you go to
Hmm,
India, you feel like you are one of them, but it's still somebody comes along and says, "Hey, ching chang," something like that.
hmm,
It must like
hmm,
shake you out of your whole reverie, or like your composure can be disturbed by somebody like
hmm.
being acting like a stupid person, right? Does that still happen to you when you go to India?
Yes, I mean, still happens, but I don't take it the way I used to when I was a child, when I was a kid. I don't feel bad about those uh, remarks. And I think partly because I've watched these videos that explicitly, very like straightforwardly show racist acts, right? And I started thinking, what would be the purpose behind showing those videos, right? What problem are they trying to solve? Who are they trying to tell,
Right.
right? Who are they trying to make aware? Uh, is it the person who is doing racism, or is it the person who is facing racism?
Right.
If it's the person who is facing racism, is it going to solve their problem by showing what's happening? And on the other side, if you're showing to the person who's making those remarks, so for example, if Koreans are being racist to Indians, if you're showing that video to Koreans, would they happily admit, oh, right, we're being racist? No, right? Like if you call someone a fat person fat, they won't be happy about it, right?
Right.
So I was like, what problem are they trying to solve? Like, how is this going to solve the problem that they want to solve?
Right. Right.
And I feel like it might just make the problem worse, like just
Hmm.
showing things that's happening. And when you ask like how did I overcome
Hmm.
those things, I felt like love is the answer. Like many, it's a very cliche term, love is the
Right,
answer.
right, right.
But actually you need, it's a difficult way. Easier way is to say you're being racist, you're bad, you're this and that. That's
Hmm.
easy to say,
Right,
but it's not going to solve the problem.
right.
If you're actually being good to them, solving their problem, their life problem, right,
Hmm. Hmm.
it might open their hearts towards me, like towards
Right,
my culture.
right, right,
So that actually solves the problem, right? So in my mind, like talking bad about them doesn't make my life easier,
right,
right?
right.
So it's a very
Calling a thief is not going to make him not a thief, right?
no, right, exactly, exactly. So for me, it's very obvious for me to embrace it and try to be good to them,
Right.
because that I know will solve my problem, my life's problem.
I think you have done that beautifully through your videos. Like you that
Hmm.
I think that might not have been your motto from the very
Yeah,
beginning, but it
right.
seems like there's a theme of you
Hmm.
understanding them, they understanding you, and closing the gap between the two cultures, two ethnicities, and that's happening right now. I mean, it might be small, the impact is small, but it is there for sure.
I hope so. I hope
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, on that
Thank,
note, I would say thank you once again, and I
thank you
will
so much.
be in touch, and you can talk still without having to do that. You can talk on WhatsApp and whatever, right?
Of course, of course.
Thank you.
Dhanyavad.